All right, everyone. Today, I want to talk about a really simple thing that you need to do right now. Start setting aside a specific type of penny and a specific type of dime right now before it's too late. Now, this is on the news or on the heels of the news that the penny is no longer going to be produced. And that's an interesting thing because it costs so much to produce a penny now, even though pennies are made of pretty much zinc, right? But from 1982 and older, pennies were made primarily of copper, so they have a very high melt value. I mean, the melt value on a copper penny right now is 3 cents, or like 0.029837, whatever, like right there at 3 cents. A penny right now today costs a lot to make, but its melt value is nothing. Matter of fact, I'm going to look that up really quick, and I think it's important to understand that when you look at the value of change, you need to realize that there is more to the value than just the metal value. There's also collector's value, and there's two different types of coins right now that you can set aside, and in the future, you're gonna have a lot of money. I'm gonna explain that in just a second. So right now, a normal penny comprised of just zinc has a face value of 1 cent. It is only worth 0.007 cents. It's worth nothing, right? So look, I want to start with one dime that you could set aside. Now, this dime is comprised of 90% silver, but as of the recording of this video, I want you to understand something really important. It's showing, where is it? Where is it? I'm going to the actual coin calculator. I want to give you the actual melt value of this coin. And it's called a barber dime. I don't know if you've ever seen one before. Let me know down in the comments, type yes if you've seen one of these before, these barber dimes. Now, what's important about this and why I'm going to bring this dime up and this next penny up is because they look different, right? So right there, it sets it aside from everything else. Of course, my internet's not working, so I might as well, as the calculator pulls up, I want to show you something really quick. Coolest thing I've ever put in my go bag. It's an emergency sleeping bag. They're on sale right now. I think, like, if you buy one, they're under $18. Could literally save a life or maybe yours if it's in your car or you stop on an accident. So really cool thing. So my calculator is not pulling up. So if I had to guess right now, the melt value of a barber dime is about $2.49, if my memory serves me right. So you could buy these in a lot of pawn shops, coin shops, and things like that for around $3, $3.50. But what you need to understand is because this looks different, this does not look like an ordinary dime. It's the same size, right? It's comprised of 90% silver, like other dimes that look normal to most people from 1964 and older, but this has a different look. And what happens when you see something that looks different? People immediately equate it to it being rare. And I think that's really important to understand. Now, the penny that I want to talk about is this right here. Now, a lot of people call it a wheat penny, but it's actually not called that. It is called a Lincoln cent. Now, why is this important? Well, once again, look at the back side of this. This is not what most people see as pennies. But right now, you can actually find these in your spare change. Now, someone here live is asking, is it better to still buy silver, 90% silver than rounds? I actually believe it is, as long as you're getting a good price. 90% silver, or what people call constitutional silver or junk silver, is any coin that is a normal, like has a numerical value, like a dime, quarter, half dollar, that is comprised of 90% silver. The reason why I enjoy buying those more than, silver eagles or things like that is because they are rarer. Any company can produce pure silver rounds, but only the mint can produce silver, and they stopped in 1964 producing 90% quarters, 90% dimes, and 90% half dollars. So they are becoming rarer and rarer every day. All the time, people lose their change. All of the time, there's change that just gets lost or destroyed. It's in the landfill. It's gone. I really enjoy that. And right now, you could take your spare pennies, and you could be not only separating the copper pennies, which are worth almost 3 cents each in melt value, but they're gonna, and before you start melting them down, know that it's a federal offense, but it's worth actually more not melted, because as time goes on, the next 10 years, 20 years, let's say you fill up a little trash can, with copper pennies as you're sorting them out, as the penny production is stopped, right? And the next wave will be as inflation gets worse, and inflation will always get worse, right? The only difference is at what extent will it get worse, right? Will we have big, hyperinflation swings, or will we have this constant steady inflation? What happens next is like what Canada did. They said, hey, no more pennies. We're just not even going to use them. We're not even going to recognize them as currency. And this isn't the first time that this has happened in America. America used to have $500 bills, $1,000 bills, $10,000 bills, and even bigger than that. And they just said, no more. We're not going to do that. With the invention of credit cards, debit cards, checks, we don't need all that extra currency running around. Really, all it was a way for the government to track you and tax you more, because type 10 if you agree. The government does not like you paying for things with cash. They just like to overtax you. So right now, this is an incredible opportunity to just set aside coins, and especially these Lincoln cents, because when you have these, first off, they are rarer than a copper penny, right? And copper pennies are becoming rare because there's less of them in circulation. As the Federal Reserve and the government sees these, they go snag them up, and they are melting them down and having the copper set aside. So why wouldn't you set aside copper pennies? But especially these, when you separate your copper pennies from your zinc pennies, and this is what, I know it sounds funny. So what I used to do is I used to go down with $500. I go to the bank and buy boxes of pennies. And more than not, they would give me boxes of pennies that people would roll from their house and bring in. And they were full of copper. And inside that were wheat pennies. I would set them all aside because a lot of these wheat pennies have a lot of extra intrinsic value because of how rare they are compared to other normal copper pennies. And so you actually, you don't have to do it today, but as you're separating them, you got your copper pennies and you got your copper wheat pennies set aside. When you have a rainy day and you want to start going through them and start looking for key dates or errors and things like that, you may be shocked at what you find. And then it's all about not cleaning them up, taking them in to be graded, and just slab them. Because if you find some that are worth, $10, $20, $30, $100, things like that, why not have them graded and then set those aside for even down the future? Or you might decide to sell them. Of course, when you grade them, they're going to be worth more money. But my point being is this is something that you could do right now. Now, I want to thank everybody that's been hitting the subscribe button. I want to bring more just super practical ideas, because this channel normally tells you about the economic news and then how to make money in real estate and crypto and stocks and all that kind of stuff. But you need to start somewhere. And just so you know, I was already a multimillionaire working as a full-time firefighter. I had a handful of businesses and investments, and I was being made fun of at the fire station as I was separating copper pennies. It's not abnormal to have your family and friends mock you when you're doing something for your future and they are not. So don't worry, you're in good company here. Watch this. Everybody, type 11 if you understand the value of spending your time investigating and creating wealth rather than playing video games and watching movies with your family and friends. Now just look at all the people down in the comment section below that are typing 11, and just understand, if you're like that and you like to find value and you want to be wealthy, or maybe you're wealthy now and you want to be wealthier and you want to change this world, well, guess what? This is the right place for you. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to take advantage of the sale, I'm not joking, I bought one of these. I'm going to go buy some more. So I have a pack of 4 in my go bag and my emergency bag in the car. So you never know. I've actually stopped on calls where people roll their cars and they're freezing cold, and this could be the difference of saving their life from hypothermia. Or it may be yours. I've been caught in a snowstorm myself before, or freezing cold. All right, with that being said, thank you so much for watching. The Economic Ninja is out.